Hi there, and welcome to this week's edition of Leadershipisation, all things leadership. My name is Beth Bergen. I'm a global leadership and communication coach, and I work with executives, I work with managers, with business owners, and often with their teams. And it's all around building what I call their leadership intelligence. I love what I do. I love what I do. It's awesome. And I am here most Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, which in the current period where there's daylight saving is 2 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. Now, over the last couple of weeks, we've looked at habits and we've built up a really awesome lot of different tools and tips for you to add to your leadership intelligence toolbox. What I want to look at doing now is starting to think about how we can build your confidence and your capability as a leader. Now, coming back to the fact that non-verbal body language, our non-verbal or our body language is received by others as about 55% of the message that we're going to send. It seemed to me that this was a great place for us to actually start, so that what we're looking at is, okay, if someone's sitting there and they're observing me, 55% of my message is going to be sent out by the body language. So we want to start with you being as confident as possible. And we want to do this before you actually open your mouth. Before you open your mouth. Okay? That's what's really important. Now, there are lots of things that you can do. The first thing is I want you to be kind to yourself, because I'm going to share 10 tips with you, but you don't have to apply all of them immediately. As we already know, practice builds that skill set, and consistent practice is even better. Plus, we've already learned about habit stacking, where what you can do is add it on to something else that you're already doing. Okay, I've got 10 tips for you. Number one is the power pose. Now, this is all about standing with your shoulders back, stand up tall, legs apart. Before you meet with the people, hands on your hips, head up, actually opening your chest and having that power pose. Now, there's a great TED talk, and we'll put the link for this into the chat for you. There's a really good TED talk by Amy Cuddy, who's a sociologist, and she made that TED talk about 12 years ago, and it's been viewed millions of times. It goes for about 20 minutes, and I want you to think about watching that and learning from it. She talks all about some experiments that she did with some university students in the States to demonstrate the impact that adopting that power pose would actually have to their confidence level before they went into job interviews. If you don't watch TED Talks, they're a great place for you to build your knowledge and understanding about a really wide range of things. What I love most about them, usually they have a transcript attached to them as well, but what I love most is that they don't go for more than 20 minutes. So it's not going to take up too much of your time. So think about adopting or learning to have that power pose. Now, the second one, and it stems quite naturally from the power pose, is to maintain eye contact. So this is all about looking at whoever you're speaking with and maintaining that eye contact, because that demonstrates your confidence and your self-worth. If I'm here today and I'm talking to you and I'm kind of looking over there and not doing my best attempt to look directly at the camera, the message that you get is that I'm not feeling confident about what I'm saying to you. It's really hard to hold a positive, constructive conversation with someone who's looking down or looking away all the time. So practice maintaining that eye contact. The third one, and again, this follows really naturally from that power pause, is to walk confidently. Shoulders back, chest open, head up. Take your time, be steady and calm. Like your version of how fast you're going to go is your version. If you look like you're hurrying, that's quite different from calmly, steadily moving at quite a fast pace. When you aren't confident in your in the way that you walk, then often you can be seen by others as a victim. And these, and studies around who's picked for assault or who's picked as a robbery victim or whatever, what they come back to, the feedback that they've had from the offenders has been, yeah, well, they didn't look like they were going to be able to protect themselves. They look like an easy mark. So in terms of you improving your confidence, walking with confidence is great. Next one, take up space. Now, what do I mean by that? I don't mean that you need to kind of spread yourself out like this so that you're everywhere, but certainly don't shrink up like this. Don't feel as though you've got to shrink to fit into a space. Make sure that what you're doing is sitting comfortably and that you have taken up natural space around you, because that allows you to continue that power pose even if you're sitting down, like the shoulders are back. You're doing great. Number 5, when someone fidgets all the time, it shows a nervousness. It demonstrates an anxiety or a concern. So minimize that fidgeting. If you feel like you need to be doing something, and this is what I do this with all of my coaching clients, if you feel like you need to be doing something, just your thumb on 2 fingers there, rubbing really slowly, just pretending that maybe you can feel your fingerprints, and just be doing that under the table, because it will really help to center you. So that the fact that you're centering yourself, the fact that you're calming yourself down, you're regulating your emotions, will give you a more confident appearance to other people. So don't forget to use that as a way of just bringing your thinking back in again, so that you are able to focus in what's going on in the particular meeting that you're attending. Number 6, you've heard me say this so many times: smile, smile, and smile again. Smile more, smile often. And make sure when you are smiling that you're smiling with your eyes as well. So it's not just it's actually, I don't even know if I did that very well, but never mind. It's actually a smile that's a fully authentic smile. It really can soften the edge on how other people are feeling, but it also reminds you, hey, we're here, we're having an enjoyable time. I'm worthy. I deserve to be here. Number 7, develop a firm handshake. Develop a firm handshake. Now, I was at a body language, was at a emceeing a conference recently, and they had a body language expert came in, and she presented some information about having a firm handshake that I'd never heard before. Normally I would have said to people, lean in, put your hand out, lean in. And what she talks about is, well, if you lean in, people can actually pull you off balance. So lean back, almost in that power pose, and actually put your hand out so that you are firmly grounded. So that's really interesting. The other thing to make sure that you're doing when you have that firm handshake, remembering that what we're wanting to do is to demonstrate and exude some confidence, is to maintain that eye contact. So make sure you've got that eye contact. they're good to go. Number 8, gestures. This isn't helpful all over the place. It's not useful because it demonstrates I'm out of control. There's a bit chaos, like my mind is all over the place. So make sure that if you are using gestures, that what you're doing is pointing deliberately. It's not useful to point like this at someone. Make sure that they're slow, they're calm, they're deliberate. Hands up like this if what you're wanting to demonstrate is an openness and a willingness to communicate. You'll find that if you're practicing these kinds of gestures, it makes you feel calmer to do it like that, as opposed to, that's kind of, there's a lot of kind of rapid movement there, which can flick your brain to be moving really rapidly as well. One tip for if you don't know what to do with your hands, one tip can be to actually steeple your hands. So while you're speaking, just to steeple your hands like that. And you might put them out in front of you, you might put them further down. Particularly if you're standing up and speaking, it can be a really useful way. You can be, moving them like this to accentuate a point. If you're someone, and often I fall into this, who uses their hands all the time, then this can be a good way of just keeping them in control. But also you can press on here, if you're feeling nervous, just press on there a little bit more. But yeah, think about steepling those hands. Finally, your face. Our face gives away all sorts of things without us even knowing it, which is why that smile is so important. But your eyebrows do things, your eyes do things, you kind of go, really? It can give away, your face can give away what you're thinking and what you don't want to say. So watch what your eyebrows are doing, watch what your eyes are doing, and manage that mouth. Quite often our mouth will go down without us even realizing that it's gone down. Don't think that's much of a good idea, is really what I'm saying with that. So watch out for what your face is doing and be thinking, if you're concerned about that your face is giving too much away, ask someone that you know and trust if they can give you some feedback. Some people are much better at a poker face than others are. Okay, so I've shared 10 nonverbals with you there, so that you can demonstrate your confidence as a leader. Now remember, a leader doesn't have to have a title. You can lead from any chair. So if you're watching this, these are things that you can apply in any situation in your life. The idea now is to get started, build your confidence, build these new habits. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you've got any questions or comments, please pop them in the platform that you're watching, and I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. If you're watching a replay, I would love it if you would put #replay. Reach out if you believe that I can assist you with developing your nonverbal communication skills as part of your leadership intelligence toolbox. Thank you. Bye now.